And we are live. Nick, you're gonna have to let me know if audio or anything is off using my camera up there. I don't know if there'll be a delay with this mic since they're two different sources or not. So just let me know if that's acting up. First things first, I shot. I'm trying to think of how I would describe it. Like a cosplay highlight for somebody's costume that they're going to submit to a competition to see if they can win for the amount of detail and effort they put into a Junkrat costume for Overwatch. So yesterday I went and shot it for about an hour, and then I'm just going to go through the process of what I do once I have all the footage for an editing project. So first things first, I take out the SD card, so I shoot on two of these SD cards at a time. It's 128 gig, and I set it up to dual record. So if one of these fails while I'm shooting a wedding specifically, because you can't redo those, you still have a backup card. So I record the same footage on two different cards in the camera, and then when I get home, I take out one of those, and then I'll bring it in here to the room, and I'll plug it into my card reader down at the bottom. And I'll pull it up here. Bring that over. And it's separated. How Sony saves it, this would be where the pictures are, and down here would be where the videos are. So I can see that I have about 14 gigs worth of footage. So I'll go here, and then I already know a path to find which ones that I shot. But 517, it looks like I have a few different video clips. So before I do anything, before I look at them, whatever it is, I'll take all of just the video files, copy them, go over to my PC here, and move them over into a new project folder. So I'll make a new folder, and then this is going to be called Junkrat Cosplay Courtney Powers. Go in there and paste it. So then, as of right now, I've got footage copying onto my computer, on the SD card, and then on the other SD card. For weddings, I will back up all the footage the night of. I don't wait a night. I put it all over here, and then I put it on a separate hard drive that I take to work with me, so it's separated. And then overnight, I'm having it upload onto a cloud, either Google Drive, or I have another service that backs up to a terabyte of footage that I will use to have a backup on my computer, backup at work, backup on a cloud. 3 different ways to back it up for each project, and that's just to start out. I don't do that as I'm saving projects and moving forward. But that is the starting point to try to cover my bases as much as I can. For something like this, it's something that's redoable, and it's not like a wedding or a once-in-a-lifetime thing. So for that, I will only back it up on here and then keep it on my other card for a while until the project's done, and then I'll back everything up on just a hard drive after that. I won't necessarily use the cloud storage to back it up a third time. So here we go, we're over halfway. 91 megabytes per second. That's pretty good speed. I think it maxes out at 100 megabytes per second for my SD card, so I'm not surprised that it's not quite getting that here. But I'm seeing it all copy over. So as soon as it's done, I've got 3 copies in case something goes wrong, in case I accidentally format this SD card, or maybe my hard drive crashed, whatever it is. I've still got whatever happens. I have 2 backups to kind of protect the footage, as it were. Almost there, and then I'll move on to the next step. Cool. So now that that's all copied, I'll yeah, that'll be good for now. I've got some bigger hard drives for after projects are done. I save them on these locally, so I don't use. This is my editing hard drive, and that just speeds up the process. And then once it's done, I can put it on a slower moving hard drive that I don't need all the speeds for. But I can go here, and Junkrat cosplay, sweet. It's copied, done. So I'll X out of that for now. This is usually a long process when I've got like up to 8 different SD cards for a wedding. I'll have like the micro SD cards for 4 different audio sources, and then I have another little mic that just saves to itself, so that's 5. Then I have SD cards from 3 different cameras, so 6, 7, 8. GoPro, 9. Yeah, 9 SD cards for a wedding that all get backed up the night of, and copies, and starting to save it on the drive, because it is just a little bit too stressful to think about, like, why did, like, I was in a hurry and I formatted something. Just I lay them all across the desk and just one at a time. And then also when I'm doing that, under the video project that I'm working on, where's that at? Under the video project, I would also do like new folders for sources. So I would have a cam A, cam B, cam C, and then different audio sources, each in their own folder. Just, it helps me stay organized and not get stressed out. But one card, here we go. This is also the time I would probably start pulling up some stuff. So that's a pretty short clip. That was just 2 seconds. Just to get an initial, did I do a big whoopsie? Okay, so this is all looking about pretty much what I was expecting. Details there. Movement's fine, nothing stuttery. The light looks a little bit darker than what I thought it was going to be, but that shouldn't be a problem once we start editing it. So that all looks good. Sweet. So then this would just be the night of, and I'd be done for the night. I'd back it all up, start saving, call it quits, go to sleep, and try to catch up on after a long day. When I start editing, I will go into Premiere. I already pulled it up because it takes a little bit of time to load. And I would make a brand new project, and this one would also be titled the same thing or close to it. So Junkrat cosplay, Courtney Powers, and then I'm gonna have to change it from the one I worked on last, which was when I was painting the cabinets white. So that's good. Save that there. Boom. Nick, if you're still watching, how's everything sound and look? Is it choppy? What's it doing? Previous configuration, do you want to open? Yes. Probably because I'm using a new mic. Yeah. Default input, don't care. Default output. I'm using my headphone or my Xbox. Okay. And then this is how I have this set up. Pretty basic. But what I wanted to do was to go ahead and load up all my clips, which sometimes I'll use. Don't need that one, and that one's really short. I'll do some like I know ones that won't get used or whatever, but I know that at least for a starting point, I'm going to need those 12, and there they loaded up. They mostly loaded up that fast because it's already on the hard drive that I'm editing on, and also because of the kind of hard drive or the kind of SSD storage that I'm using. It's able to load all those clips really quickly. So once they're all there, sweet, cool, that's done. Then comes the sorting and initial like viewing and cutting up to one clips that I know I'm going to use versus clips where I'm going to throw it away, not throw it away, but ones that just have too much shakiness or too much movements, anything like that. Those are ones that I would know I could cut out and not add down in here to when I'm going to be editing. So it looks like all this is right. Frame rates, 120 frames, which will make me able to do really slow motion clips if I need to, but if I don't need to, it still just plays at regular speed and looks regular. What I am going to do, since I haven't done this and I haven't edited a project for anybody for I think all year, so I'm going to calibrate my screen, and that is with this little thing that is plugged into the back through USB. It's an X-Rite Pro Display something or other. It was recommended to me by the guy that I shoot a lot of weddings with / for. I'm his second shooter. He recommended this. He says do it every month, but he's also like editing every month, which hasn't been the case for me. But basically, monitors aren't perfect, shocking, and the colors vary from display to display. So iPhone, at least for the ones Kaylee and I have, are very kind of like washed out, like not very saturated. And then if you can tell by this screen, this is some pretty deep colors. I like having the colorful backgrounds. But it looks like to me that it's probably oversaturated compared to what an iPhone image would be, which is fine. But the color calibrator just goes through, you'll be able to see all the steps. I am going to need, I'm going to make a new scene because I don't want my camera being on it. Actually, I think I can just hide that. Yes, sweet. So I'm going to hide this because I don't want it to mess up while I'm calibrating. Okay, color gamut. This is all, you can watch a YouTube video if any of this is interesting, but I'm just going to be doing, I have 2 displays up. I'm going to be doing this one right here. And that's going to be the target that I want it. I don't want it to be too green. I don't want it to be too red. I don't want it to be blue. I want it to be right where it should be to tell accurate colors. Automatically display. Yeah, I'm going to let it do it automatically because this monitor is a little bit better for that. And then I'm going to do start measurement. And then it's going to walk me through step by step how to use this thing. So ambient diffuser is covering the lens. So as soon as I turn it around, then it knows, hey, you did the right thing. So go ahead and put it on the center of the screen. And I'm going to have to tilt the screen back a little bit so it's nice and flush. And then there's also a counterweight on it that can be adjusted just to make sure. Yeah, like that little warning that's there is very easy to mess up. So it just needs to be right in the middle. Zippity zoppity. Yeah, I'm going to let it. I'm going to say that I can control all those. It takes a little bit more time, but you got to do what you got to do. Got to have those accurate colors, especially when you're color deficient like me. So we're ready for it. Okay, bippity boppity. Checking for automatic display control. That's a good sign. Now we're just looking through all the contrast and color temperature to see kind of what the range of offerings that it can give the reader. So it can use professional high-end studio grade color monitors to calibrate. So for an off-the-shelf Micro Center Special, it's not the hardest thing for it to get right. But there's the contrast going, and then it'll do some colors after that. Looks and sounds clear to me. Everything sweet. Thanks. I appreciate that. It's good to know. Yeah, there we go. And it's going to go through 118 different colors, which there's a one that only uses like 64. So that would probably work if I was doing it as often as I should, or if I was doing it every month, I would probably bump it down to that 64 shades. But as you can see, it's already like 30 out of 118, so it's not that big of a deal. And I normally do this after I've almost completely done with the edit. Once it's cut up, once music's added and edited, then I calibrate the monitor and I start clip by clip trying to match the color of all of them together. That's definitely probably my weakest point, is getting all the clips to match up color wise. And that's also has to do not just like editing, but also how I shoot. Like, I'm not careful enough to think like, ooh, this is quite a bit brighter, maybe I should lower the ISO, or this, I need to think about doing this angle and then this angle, because just the way the lighting is, I'm not going to be able to use them together, that sort of thing. Verifying. Some monitors have this built in where you don't have to have its own thing, which is really nice, but those are also on the expensive side. And if it says that it comes factory calibrated or for color accuracy, that's good, but it also needs to be done regularly. All right, so now that is done, and I'm going to set it down on the desk here. It'll say why. Next. Okay. Next. I'll just name this 5/18/2020. Profile reminder in 4 weeks. Monitoring mode. So this monitoring mode, I don't know if you can see it because my camera's still off. Depending on what the lighting is in the room, will change the colors on the monitor. So if I had that monitoring for ambient light, I would turn this off. It would monitor that it's a lot darker in here, and it would change the colors on the monitor for me. Since I have it on, and it's pretty much, it's not going to get too much darker in here. I mean, it's going to get darker outside, obviously. But if the blinds are closed and the overhead light's off and this light's on, I don't really need to have that constant monitoring. And then I can just save the profile. Cool. Okay, I'm good with it running in the background. And now we'll get to see a little bit of before and after for us. There are this many different kinds of pictures to look at to see what's changed. So what we're looking at now is the after color calibrated accuracy to the maximum almost on this monitor. If I click before, ooh, that is a lot darker. This is more accurate colors. This is the monitor just being itself and saying these are what are accurate. This one, you see maybe not so much anything other than saturation, like the contrast of it. At least from what I can tell, and I'm no expert, but it just looks like a lot of, like the shades, nothing like pops out like, oh, that's a completely different color now. It's just maybe not so deep in the color. So we're going to leave it at after. And then we can close that out and it'll be running down here. Yes. Now it's telling me that my other one needs to be calibrated, which I know, but I'm not going to do that. So I'll go back here. Okay, and then in sequential order. There aren't that many clips. If I have 3-4 different camera sources, I'll watch them up here and cut and edit down and then drag it down here. But with these few of clips, I'm going to go ahead and bring them all into the timeline. And there'll be 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Yep, they're all there. And it's about 20 minutes worth of footage. So the project only has to be, I'm going to put the camera back on. Why not? So the project can only be 30 seconds to a minute, which is normally really easy to do just because it's like a really sweet spot of just giving you only good stuff. Hopefully only good important shots that you need. No extra frills, nothing to get bored at, nothing to be like, when is this over? It's already been 2 minutes. 30 seconds to a minute is a sweet spot for me for these kind of stuff, these kind of videos. Okay, so now that it's in Premiere and looking at it, it does not look as dark as when I was watching it. Yeah, I'm gonna like the lighting will be a lot better, or is a lot better than when I was first watching it. And looking over at the reference from what is being streamed, it's on a different monitor, so it looks darker on that other monitor. So it's kind of just from monitor to monitor. But now that I know that this is calibrated, a fresh new calibration on it, based off the ambient light, I know that whatever I do color-wise, if anything, will be accurate, and then everybody else's screens is going to be colors that they're used to anyway. But this is a good starting point. I like that a lot. Let's look through, let's just scrub through some of the other footage. A little bit jittery. Good close up on those things are sweet. The old peg leg. Yeah, this, I'm excited. This is gonna be sweet. And then just the props. Got some of the hair, moving pieces of the gun. Showing off the back. Oh, yeah. So something like this, if I wanted to, I would just go in here and look at the basics of what I might do for changing up the color on it. I really like it. straight out of camera, which it's on its own picture profile while it's shooting. But that's pretty cool. And then I can look over here on my scopes and nothing's peaking. When I first started shooting, I peaked highlights like nobody's business. You see a little bit of peaking there. Anything that reaches 100 just means that you're losing detail and that the shot's blown out. But like this, that's a sweet looking picture to me. I don't know if what I would do to it. Maybe brighten it up just because I have the room to. Contrast looks pretty darn good. And I'm gonna get sidetracked. I'm going back. Yeah. So initial thoughts is 20 minutes to start with, 30 seconds to a minute of footage. This is gonna be. I've given myself plenty of options to show off the different things. So then you start thinking about, okay, the client or whoever the video is for, what's the purpose of it? The purpose is to show off details of the costume. So like this shot right here, where it's showing part of the leg, the pouch, the grenades, a good side picture of that arm. This will probably be a clip that's in there somewhere. And just like half a second of that would be fine. So I'm gonna move back. I'm gonna move it up here, and that 120 frames I was talking about, that means I can lower the speed by 30% and it will not lose any kind of jitteriness when it's played back. So the movement stays smooth, and it looks natural. It's not like blurry. You see, it's just nice, slow movement. Which I think looks, yeah, like that, moving out. And you can also like reverse the clip to make it play forward. If I wanted it to look more like I'm walking in instead of pulling out, I would just cut it. Speed. Reverse speed it. Now it does take a little bit more processing power, so I'm going to give it a little bit of a time to catch up. Yeah, it doesn't want to play back at full speed, probably because this is still going on over it. There we go. Nah, still jittery. Oh well. I don't reverse the speed, but that much. But if I want to, the option's there to play it in reverse and still not be jittery like it just was. I'm also playing it at full res, which I could bump that down to like a quarter or something. Actually, maybe I will do that. Quarter, just to see what, I just want to see what it looks like. Reverse. I'm gonna pull up my resource. Ooh, no, what happened? Could have been bad. Let's see what's spiking when. Okay, so CPU goes in overdrive for that. That's fine. Okay. Um, and I'll just start going through. Earlier I was looking at music. It's hard for me to do it without music. So even if the music doesn't get played in the final thing, um, I need to at least edit it with it so it kind of feels like it's something. I'm gonna move this off while I sign in. This is my music licensing website of choice because it's a lot cheaper than others, and it's got tons and tons of different options. And I normally go by mood, but you can just see like whatever kind of music you're looking for is here mostly. I'm going to go to my playlists. And earlier today, I listened to 4 songs, like the first minute of songs, and picked out these 4 that I was like, I think that would probably fit. But I don't ever really know until I start like cutting up with music over it. So I'll try all of these. I'll download the preview for all of them. Um, and it's nice that they make it like just the instrumental or just the vocals, whatever you need or whatever you'll be doing. Because sometimes, like for a wedding at least, you don't want vocals going on in a song the same time that somebody's giving a speech. So you can just layer the vocals with the instrumental track. And then when you get to a point where you're going to introduce somebody's saying something in vowels or speech, then you can just mute the vocals track and the music is seamless. And while I'm here, now that I've downloaded the 4, I'll move these over into the project. And I'll name them song options. Because you have to license it, and you pay a year to license. On this site, you pay a year, and you can license as many songs as you want. But when you do, you give it a name. Like if I were to license this, I would say like you can see, Hunter and Shanice, a preview. These are going to be the titles of the videos that I'm sharing from my business page, whatever. I haven't had a problem with licenses yet. Once that license is generated, I save that to a folder and then I'll put it on Google Drive or in this folder either way. It's saved on the website, so it's not a big deal. But now that I have those downloaded and in here, then I would go back here and start adding them in. I think that's everything that I wanted to do. Yeah, because now it's a lot of like listening and debating and kind of brainstorming, and I don't want to do that on here because it will kind of take away the finished project, because you'll look at it and you'll already start getting ideas. Maybe like already seeing these clips, you're already like, oh, I don't really, I know what's coming. So I'll wait till after the music or whatever. But this is what is all get set up, and then I start editing. And then once it's edited, I'll probably get back on here, play it through with the, probably not with the music. Don't want to get in trouble. Yeah, so I'll play it through and then I'll walk through the export settings and then how I send it to people, that kind of thing. But anyway, this is the first editing stream that I've done. I was pretty excited to do it. Hopefully it wasn't too boring. Maybe you learned a couple things. If you're watching this at a later time, just ask questions or reach out, because I like learning more. I'm not an expert by any means, but I really enjoy it. And the finished product is always like, oh, yes, completed. So I'll go ahead and start working on this now. How about now? Is it working? Sweet. Cool. Well, that's an annoying first 11 minutes of the stream, but oh well, it was just me talking. Basically what I'm doing right now is watching it through, and on the side off screen I'm making notes of clips that I'm going to adjust for exposure or color. So far I'm fourth and fifth clip. They're too dark compared to the other images based off the Lumetri scopes over here, and I'm just going to see if there are other images that are the same way. Pretty dark. That one's better. That one's better. Actually, yeah. Little dark. A little bit darker. Yeah, it's not going to hurt to bump those brightnesses up a little bit on that. That one's good. Yes, sweet. That's what I was looking for. Okay, that means it's going to be the same clips that need adjusted for the ones with music. That's it. Sweet. Yeah, I love the music. So I did send it to her already last night, and I made some changes. The order of clips I didn't like after watching it and sleeping on it. And then she asked if I could fit one more full body shot. And I was like, I'm pretty sure I've got a good one to use. And right on this part, I didn't have this clip in at first. And I think it was because I was more focused on close-ups. But this shot is really good at just... Oh, and the other thing that I was nitpicking myself on was that you could see your leg. It's not a big deal, but that's the kind of things where I'm like, when I'm being picky, I put them over in these clips to where I'm like, cream of the crop clips, I'm going with these. But the full body, after these close-ups, doing another full body shot and then going back to close-ups really makes the video a lot better. And then I was saying earlier when you couldn't hear that I have two different versions, one with music and one without. And the one without music that could end up being the one that gets submitted just because it's longer. Some of the clips are extended to be a little bit longer since there isn't the music, and it's easier when you're watching it to not be jarred by these cuts when the music isn't playing. So when the music's playing, the cuts mostly make sense. When it's not playing, they didn't make... It was like, oh, that was a quick cut to that shot. So I was able to extend those some of them out a little bit and still be right at the minute mark. So that's the video. Now I'm going to go through and bump up, the exposure on these two and 1, 2, 3, and these 4. Everything else was pretty good. So I'll go over to color and then just have my basic corrections. I'm not doing anything with like white balance. I'm just gonna raise that up to about there. And that's 2.3. 2.3. Want to raise, since that clip was shot at the same time, I'm going to raise the exact same brightness. Yeah, I just think that looks better than it being so much darker. 2.3, 2.3, cool. And then maybe do 0.9. Yeah, there's a lot of just like little things to it to. Ooh, I think I went a little bit overboard with that one. Maybe. Yeah. I like that. 1.5. I think that's it. Yeah, I like how they're about in the same range now as all the other clips. Cool, I like it. So now back to source clips editing. Oh, that's the one without music. Let me get back to. Now where did that go? I hope she wins something. That would be sweet. Yeah. I think the amount of work and like just the little details to the costume, it's a lot of work. Like, I really hope she gets recognized for just how far. I don't like the paint when I was like videoing like this part, all that just looks, it looks super good to where, yeah. I hope she wins. Okay. Okay, now I'll just go through and brighten these up and then go on to exporting. Zoom in a little bit. That was. James, welcome to the stream. I'm finishing up the color adjustment or the brightness adjustment on this, and then I'll play it through for you. All right, here we go from the beginning with music, and I licensed the song already, so hopefully I don't get in trouble with Twitch. Here we go. that's it. Feels good. So, yeah, with music, I'm going to go ahead and send this over to the encoder to start on the render. So I'm going to call this Junkrat Cosplay. This is the one with music. More explosions, please. I originally thought I was going to do a lot of like glitch transition, fancy twirl transitions and all that stuff. And when I put a couple of them in there, it was cool. It was cool to me, but it kind of took away from the meaning of the video, which is just close up detail, highlight the cosplay. It would have looked cool. It would have also taken more time, yeah, but also taken away the kind of goal of the video in this instance. If we ever do like squad cosplay stuff or hero intros that I want to do for everyone, it could have some more like glitchy transition effects and explosions. But yeah. So I'm going to export this with music. It's going to have constant bitrate for high quality. It's only a minute and it's like almost half a gig, which is a big file. I do it this way because when I send it, it loses a little bit of its quality. And then when she sends it to the next person, it'll probably lose a little bit of quality. And then when it gets uploaded, it'll lose a little bit of quality. So that's 3 stages where it just like slowly starts to lose some of its pixels to where I give it a big fat file size that's within reason of the original file. And then it can withstand a couple compressions with you're not going to notice. I got some last night for a different project. This lady is sending me tons of these clips wishing her mom a happy 70th birthday. And these are all cell phone clips. And they're front facing camera, so bad quality or the worst quality on your phone camera right there. Then it gets sent to her, loses some quality. Then she was sending it to me, losing some quality. And then I had to download it to edit with it, losing some quality. So when you start out with just almost worst case scenario for phone recording, then by the time it gets to the edit, you can't really save it too much. But luckily for this one, this is straight from camera, so it's able to be preserved a lot longer, if that makes sense. So I'm going to cue this and then get my other render ready, and I'll be done. Is that saving? Yes. I was just making sure it was saving the right spot. Play that. Now it's rendering, and then I'll go over to Assembly, and the one with music, so now I need to go to this one. Yeah, this one without music. I'm going to watch it one more time just to make sure that the lighting things were right. Yeah, that's a lot better than what the original was. Good. Cool. I like it. I'm gonna export this one. This one will be called Junkrat Cosplay. No music. And then I'll scroll on down. Render. Get that up. Constant bitrate of 50. Oh, no. What? Constant bitrate of 50. Use maximum. And that's about halfway done. Cool. So while that's up, I'll go ahead and don't save. I'm going to go ahead and start getting WeTransfer ready, which is how I send the files. And it's just a way to send them in a zip file or a zip folder without losing quality. Please do a male Widowmaker cosplay. I think you would definitely be able to pull it off. That's hilarious. Oh gosh. Okay. That was my phone telling me that. Oh wow, that one went a lot faster without music. Gosh. Sweet. Alrighty. Yeah. With music. Yes, sweet. Okay. Now I need to go here. I'll be able to, no, I'll leave that off. So I'm going to send Courtney the files via WeTransfer, and I'll do that off screen. But if it's a wedding and there'll be like 6 or more videos that I'm sending, what I'll do is send them to a zip folder, which actually, why not? Let's just do that. A compressed folder. And then I'll send that to her email through WeTransfer, and then she can download it without quality loss and then do whatever she wants. So she's basically getting the exact same file size, look, everything that is on my computer right now, instead of losing quality that can happen when you are constantly uploading and re-uploading and downloading whatever. Cool. And that's it. So I'll send that. I keep debating on if I should. No, I'm doing it off screen because I don't want to give out the email addresses for her. But I'll drop it into WeTransfer, and I guess I can just do that from here. Why not? This is WeTransfer. So I've got the little zip folder, and drop it like it's hot. Dropping it. Here are the two. basically, some people aren't as tech savvy, so if they get a zip folder, they don't know what it means because it's not a video file. They'll get a direct download link to their email that all they have to do is click on it. It downloads, and then you open it up like this with the basic one. And then when you click on these two, you can extract them, which is basically uncompressing them and getting them to their right size. Or with Windows 10, a lot of the times, yeah, there it is. You can just go ahead and watch it before you even extract it from the file. But yeah, thank you, James. I appreciate that. So now that that file is uploading, I'm going to take this off, send it to Courtney. And be done. So I'm going to put this stream on pause. I've got another project that I'm going to try to go ahead and get done. It's mostly just cutting clips together, resizing the video, and redoing the audio on them. So it shouldn't take me too long, but I figured since the stream's already up and running, I'll stream it and then have it saved and maybe put it up on YouTube for future. But I appreciate you guys stopping by and watching it. I'm going to go ahead and pause it for now. If you want to stick around, I'm still watching the chat box, and I'll be back live in a few minutes. Thanks.